When you think about the cutting edge of AI, what pops into your head? I bet it's these massive, kind of brain-like models that live up in the cloud, right? Well, today we're going to explore a totally different side of this story, a new wave of AI that's small, super powerful, and, well, it might already be in your pocket.
So let's just dive right into the big question, because for the longest time, the entire AI industry has been built on this one massive assumption. But what if the future of AI isn't about one giant all-knowing brain? What if it's something way more personal and a whole lot more efficient? For the last few years, it's been all about the large language models, LLMs. These are the absolute titans of the AI world. We see the headlines all the time, right? Models with hundreds of billions, even trillions of parameters, and the message is always crystal clear. Size equals power.
And hey, they are incredibly powerful, no doubt about it. LLMs are kind of like a Swiss Army knife. They can do a little bit of everything, from writing a poem to spitting out lines of code. But that power comes with a pretty hefty price tag. They are resource hungry, they're expensive to run, and they're almost always chained to a powerful server in the cloud.
But now, a new contender is stepping into the ring, and they're not here to take down the giants, not at all. They're here to offer a completely different playbook, one that's all about speed, privacy, and just practicality. So let's meet the small language model.
So what exactly is an SLM? Well, while we measure LLMs in the hundreds of billions of parameters, SLMs are in a totally different league. They typically range from about 1 million up to maybe 10 billion. And the real key here, is that they're designed from the ground up to be lightweight enough to run locally, right on your own device.
Okay, so how in the world do they get them so compact? This is what I find really fascinating. It's not just about training a smaller model from scratch. They use these really clever techniques. First up is something called knowledge distillation, where you have a small student model basically learn all the important stuff from a massive teacher LLM. Then there's pruning. Think of it like trimming a bonsai tree. They just snip away the connections in the neural network that are less important. And finally, there's quantization, where they reduce the precision of the numbers inside the model, which makes the whole file size way, way smaller without losing too much performance. Pretty smart, huh?
And this brings us to a super important point. This is not a battle of LLMs versus SLMs. It's about a strategic choice. I mean, you wouldn't use a sledgehammer to hang a picture frame, would you? It's the exact same idea here.
And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. You've got LLMs, the powerful but costly, cloud-reliant generalists. And on the other side, you've got SLMs, the specialized experts. They're low cost, they're lightning fast because they're right on your device, and they're just perfect for very specific, focused tasks.
And these differences lead to some really serious advantages for the little guys. By running locally, SLMs deliver on two huge promises: speed and privacy. You get instant responses, and your data never has to leave your device. Plus, this also makes them way more energy efficient, cheaper to run, and a whole lot easier to customize for a specific job. But of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The main trade-off here is that specialization. An SLM is an absolute expert in its one domain, but it's not as tough when it has to deal with really ambiguous tasks or complex reasoning that's outside of what it was trained on.
But here's the kicker. This technology isn't just some theory or a research paper. It is already here, and you are almost certainly using it every single day without even realizing it.
Seriously? Think about it. You can see SLMs in action powering the on-device assistants on the latest smartphones. From Google's Gemini Nano to Apple's latest iOS features. They're the magic behind those real-time translation apps that work even when you're offline, and they're the intelligence in a ton of smart home devices, making AI feel way more immediate and useful.
And what this all really boils down to is a kind of democratization of AI. SLMs are untethering it from the cloud. They're making it faster, more private, and available even when you're totally offline. And that is a fundamental shift in how we interact with technology.
So this brings us to what I think is the most exciting part of this whole story. The rise of SLMs isn't just about making models smaller. It's paving the way for a whole new paradigm in AI called Agentic AI. So yeah, forget that sci-fi idea of a single godlike AI that does everything for everyone. The future is looking a lot more like a team.
A team of specialized AI agents working together. So let's just break down what's happening on screen here, because it's a whole new architecture. Imagine you have a complex task. Instead of just throwing it at one giant LLM, a controller agent breaks the problem down. It might send the coding part to a specialized SLM that only knows code, send the data analysis part to another SLM,
and maybe it only bothers the big LLM for some high-level reasoning. It's literally a team of AI experts, each one playing to its own strengths.
And look, this isn't just some fringe idea. Researchers at NVIDIA are making a pretty bold claim right here. They're saying that because SLMs are powerful enough, more suitable, and just plain more economical, they are the future of these intelligent agent systems.
So, in the end, it's not Goliath versus David. Not at all. It's about building a system where they actually work together. The big LLMs can handle the big picture, strategic thinking, while a whole fleet of specialized SLMs can execute the focused, day-to-day tasks with incredible speed and efficiency.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As this tech evolves, are we all going to be talking to one giant centralized AI in the cloud? Or will each of us have our own personalized, totally private team of AI agents running right on our devices, tailored perfectly to what we need? The rise of the small but mighty SLM suggests the future of AI is about to get a whole lot more personal.